Hey, it's Chase from Sorcery Contested Realm, and today we're going to be talking with Heiner and Sasha from the White Rabbit Community Game Store in Germany. Now, they're getting ready to have their grand contest on September 5th and 6th in Gelsenkirchen, Germany. So we're going to talk to them a little about what they've got planned for that weekend and get some insight into how they've been approaching growing communities at their store, particularly from a store owner's perspective. Now, before we get all into that, we want to share something a little fun with y'all. We're going to be sending some Grey Wolf promos to this grand contest event. Now, with a limited number of conventions this year, we want to do something that celebrates the community coming together, and Sasha and Heiner have really spent a lot of time growing their pack in that region and being stalwarts and community leaders. So we just want to say thank you to everyone for being part of our pack, and if you're attending that event, there will be a Grey Wolf there for you. So with that being said, let's jump into talking with Sasha and Heiner. Heiner and Sasha, thanks so much for coming on to talk with us.
Well, Chase, thanks for having us.
Yeah, right. Hi, guys.
Yeah.
So we're only weeks away now. So for someone coming to the grand contest in Germany, what have you got planned for the weekend?
Well, I hope one of the best weekends in store for everybody attending. We've got great venues secured. We've got 103 tickets sold currently, I suppose. So maybe we will even sell out. And it's going to be a ton of good time and good gameplay and people coming together. Some for the first time and others for another time, the next time.
Well, kind of bummed that I'm not going to be able to make it out there this year, although I did have so much fun when you hosted us for Arthurian Legends. If we can't attend, do we just have to look longingly from the sidelines, wishing we were joining the fun, or how can we participate as well?
Yeah, that is something we are very happy to be able to offer for this grand contest is a live stream on YouTube. On the White Rabbit YouTube channel, we are absolutely thrilled and super lucky to have Robert with us doing commentary coming over from Ireland. He also did a great job already for the Sorcery Fest Grand Contest stream. And that's when we met and it worked out. He's coming over, so we will be live all matches and deliver something to everybody around the world interested in sorcery and good gameplay, good on-site action.
That's fantastic. And we'll have links to that in the description below. But Sasha, I think, you've obviously hosted big events before, and this is a larger one. What are you personally most excited about for this weekend?
It's always great to see some familiar faces that you normally only meet maybe once or twice per year during other events in Europe. And it's always the family gets back together and having good food and maybe some drinks after the event and hanging out, exchanging some war stories of other events. So it's really nice to see the sorcery community getting back together, and not only the familiar faces, but also obviously new ones. So really looking forward to the weekend.
Well, and some of the things you mentioned there, I want to dig into here because we're sitting at more than 100 people coming in to play Sorcery with you. And now a lot of the people are traveling in, but you've also worked really hard to build and sustain a local sorcery community at your store. And let's get into talking a bit about this today. So take me back to the beginning. How did Sorcery actually get started at White Rabbit? And was there any particular people or moments that first helped get that ball rolling?
Yeah, that's definitely Heiner's part, to be honest.
So I'd found Sorcery on Kickstarter back when Alpha was about to launch. I did back personally, not on the store level, but I myself got 2 Alpha boxes. Very happy about that. And I pitched it to the team. Actually, I said, look, there's a game coming out. But then, there was kind of a little bit of a delay in the early days for Alpha to be released. And we were too late for the Kickstarter back then to back as a store. So we had to wait for beta to be published and then get enough product to really start gameplay in the stores. And that was, I believe, around the first Escan Rask, a little bit earlier maybe when we really did start gameplay in the stores, but then Escan Rask kind of really kicked it off. And from that point on, a gameplay in Essen was growing and getting established. And we are here today, so that's how it started. with the interest, and of course, as so many others, don't tick differently. Old school style of type of game, artwork great, hand painted art. I was thinking this is too good to be true. That's why I was so careful backing. It didn't appear to be real. And then
To be honest, Chase, it didn't take very long to persuade the rest of the team to dive deeper into Sorcery. So, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And so I guess then, one of the questions we constantly hear from players is, hey, how do I convince my local game store to support Sorcery? And so you came at this as sort of initially a player, but then you jumped in as a store. You're kind of the other side of that conversation. From a store's perspective, what makes you look at a game and think, okay, this is something worth supporting?
Sasha?
Yeah, it helps to really be hooked by the game myself, to be honest. But besides, what really helps is on the one hand, getting an idea of a community. Is there already an existing community? Are there interested players that are willing to at least be helpful or assist the store in establishing or getting the community building started and helping with learn to plays, for example, to onboard new players, or maybe educate the store staff about the game, because when you run a store and probably host a couple of other card games or trading card games, you're not aware of each and every game that's coming up. So it really helps to have an open community that addresses you, suggests, hey, you should look into this game or that, and then helping getting the community in-store set up. Being there, consistency, I think, is the key. So really coming back into the store, helping the store staff to set up organized play, to find a seat at least once per week where they come back, even if the community starts rather small. But it's all about maybe taking baby steps and increasing steadily. That's important from a store's perspective, I think.
And I think that's something we've always thought about as well, is like we've been big on sort of quality, right? And we'd rather take quality over quantity any day. We're happy to grow slow if that core is solid. And I think that sort of speaks back to the relationship we formed with you at White Rabbit, is that you have done quality all along. And so we see that, right? And we see the people that you're cultivating in your spaces. In our grand contests and our store support, we often like to have cards to help shout out for community standouts and also judges who are maybe taking the time to not play, right? They're stepping back and giving up that experience that is so much fun that we all love, so that they can help facilitate the other play. And so I think it's really important for us to have ways to kind of acknowledge that.
True.
If you're a Sorcery player and you're kind of trying to build your community at a store, is there something that you would maybe specifically say, hey, here's a helpful thing to do?
Yeah, I would. Well, it depends on if it's like, So if you have to produce the community to find this critical mass yourself, for some games it just pops out and it's there. So it meets different challenges. But if it's like, okay, how do I draw people into this game I love so much, and how do I get them into the store? I have come to the belief that it's a two-stage approach probably that is best. You can collect people, you can find people, and start playing not even in the game store, but at your kitchen table or in a nearby location that is not your LGS, and then approach the LGS if you have found like those 6 guys who you can stand in front of and say, look, this is the pack I found. It's a great game. If you want, I can show you how to play it, but this is us 6 people, and we would like to find a place in your game store to play. And then take that approach, like not coming alone, but bringing what you can organize as a small starting community. Because if that is not on the radar, it will die in the LGS again. And it's not always the LGS that can produce that. So if you have a community ambassador or a champion, that helps greatly. And then 3 things required meet. The one is the motivated community. and like meeting critical mass and surpassing it, and then it's a game store who sees that and can support it, and then it's the game that is good and the publisher that is making it work in form of organized play in a game store. And it takes all those three pillars to build something stable, and if one of those goes away and breaks, then it's very likely that it all collapses. So for us as a store, we do love to support games. Games I'm not even into, but if there's coming people in who are enthused about the game and love the game, and we feel that passion they have for the game, and it's 8 great people, then we say, okay, how can we produce space for them, even if I'm not into the art or into the particulars of the game? We will try to do that. But if it's just one guy coming in and he's on fire, what can we do for them? It's
Right.
just, we put 4 tables aside for you so you can sit on your own. That's not, and we can't do the magic trick and have people coming in and gathering and playing that game. And there is much space for people to gather before approaching a game store, I guess. And if there's much bad to social media, but there might be also something good there. So you can probably use those channels to find a local groove, to form it. I hear people are using WhatsApp, although I don't. But that seems to be a way that could help you form and get that critical mass together to approach a store, if it isn't already there. And then it would be a very interesting store decision to not host those people. Well, maybe it's hard competition for seats, but then, if you ask yourself as a player, what can you actually do? I believe that is very close to it. And then curate that community, of course.
Yeah, and I think, there's so many variables here, right? And even I think locally we've got kind of 2 different stores taking 2 different approaches. One has a community that likes to play more at home and kind of just comes out for the tentpole things. And the other one, they'd like to play in the store more. And you see what that impact has, right? And a lot of that choice comes to the community. Was there a moment in the White Rabbit experience where you felt like it was like a turning point for the community? Or has it kind of just been like a steady snowball, perhaps?
It's been in a steady growth, I'd say, and a steady development, starting with, let's say, 4 to 6 players in the beginning, and hoping that we're enough to run a tournament or have a nice evening together, playing some rounds. And then, we started obviously putting work into community building and doing our part, what Heiner already explained. It's not just us, it's also rely on the community coming back into the store, maybe dragging some other players, new players into the game and into the store. And so together, it's basically, I always say it's about a collaboration, a journey together, the community and the store as well. And I think there was, I'm not sure if it was really a turning point. It's hard to really pinpoint it, but it was really great to reach a certain number of attendance with regards to weekly play. So as I said, 4 to 6 players in the beginning, and when we reached a point, let's say 8 to 12, that was when we felt really safe that, okay, that's a consistent community, a stable community we can obviously further increase. At the moment, we are running weeklies with up to 20 players approximately. Wow. So that's really awesome. But it took us quite a long road. But it was really fun walking this road together with the community. And as I said, when 8 to 10 players, maybe 12, it's okay if some don't attend because there are holidays or ill or whatever, real life happens in between sometimes, and they can't attend. But that's okay, because that leaves enough other players to have a great evening, run a tournament, and I think that was the point when we were sure, okay, we're on the right track, and let's increase it steadily, slowly, but let's increase it further.
And so I'm hearing that idea of this sort of critical mass, right? It's like, how do you get, you got to get to this level where that consistency sort of takes care of itself.
Yeah, and it grows more easily. Like if you have two games running at the same day and you see the one growing, getting as strong as the other one, and that is a strong one also. So it's just a good show for the community as well that the game's good. They just keeps working for them as well. And then, it gets like, it is self-strengthening, if that's the word in English, but it self-enforces. Maybe that's how we would put it. Yeah.
100%. I guess, maybe on the flip side, is there anything that like you have insight as a storer that like maybe players shouldn't do? Are there things that like sometimes enthusiastic players like get wrong? Every once in a while we'll have, people message us all the time with updates about how they're starting their communities. And some people, it seems to be really easy. And sometimes I keep getting messages from like the same person saying, I'm trying at this place, and it's just you're not firing for that individual. And it's like, like, I wonder what maybe we're missing. And is it, is there something from a store perspective where you're like, well, maybe avoid this, do more of that?
I think don't push too hard all the time. I think it doesn't help as a player, and especially as one who's really enthusiastic about the game. Don't push the store too hard. Make your introduction, bring your pack, as Heiner already said. Maybe try to help establish some sort of organized play, which could, by the way, be open play in the beginning. Why not? You don't need tournament and rounds and all those shenanigans. Just open play, getting likewise minded players and players interested in the game together, helping the store in this way. But don't push them. It's not easy for a store if you are either maybe not familiar with a lot of card games or trading card games to get into this stuff, or if you already host numerous of those trading card games. It's about how many seats can I reserve for which game, and there's another game I have to look into and dive into. So it needs time. Give them this time, but on the other hand, yes, be persistent. Bring your pack. Be persistent.
Yeah, and make it work traveling on the same speed-ish. Because if your enthusiasm is so overboarding and you don't curb it, then you will probably certainly overroll staff, and they wouldn't be handle all your passion for the game. So it's different if you come in and say, this game is so important to me, it means so much to me, it's what I need in my free time to get my head cleared and to be a sane person. That might be true and is a good pitch in a way, but for the store staff it sends a tricky signal. So if you would say, look, we're 6 people, it's a good community, can we try out making this work together, you as a store and us as a community, which you host and which is friendly and open and good and self-supporting, except for what a store has to do to support it, then it's like, as a store owner, you say, okay, well, this seems to be a good approach to me as well, not only for them, but let's journey this together. That's, I believe, putting yourself into their shoes a little bit and then staying in your own, of course, because you are the player. You can't take over the store as well. It's just, it's an interesting mix.
Yeah, and it's a science, but it's also an art, right? And there's a little bit of a balance of finding that right level and making sure you mix with that community. And to be honest,
we always consider ourselves lucky if it's a good game, good community, and we can do a good job. So that's a blessed situation.
And I've always appreciated, I think, your focus on community was what seemed like made Sorcery a good fit, right in the name. I know we say White Rabbit, but it's the White Rabbit Community Game Store, not just even the White Rabbit Game Store. I feel like, that early focus on community that you've always kind of embodied has really been a great fit for Sorcery. So I'm excited for your event coming up with this grand contest. And, so we said, you started with a few people playing Sorcery. Players kept showing up. You kind of nurtured that on your end, making sure that community felt supported. And now we've got this over 100-person event with people descending upon you for the grand contest. So maybe we'll kind of finish with this. When you walk into the room on September 5th and you see everyone there, what do you think that moment's going to mean to you?
Something really great. It's picking up on, there's a couple of phases in there, because effectively what we are doing is a job, but we are meeting people and we are making encounters. So there are past encounters and future ones, and then the ones happening. So I remember very fondly being at Sorcery Fest, and after the gameplay, actually going out to watching the soccer world championship and being there, and then I will see Adrian and see, well, who's one of our, not locals, but somebody I really dearly like to meet every time we meet. And so I will see him remember that and say, okay, this is going to be interesting. What's happening this time? So, and that is like the extracurricular activities pop up in your mind, and then everybody being happy as an effect of the event, which at that time was Sorcery Fest, but also building Sorcery Fest, building on Siege of the Core, building on our Crossroads event last year. So it's all stacking together, and this year we will have one of 3 big grand contests and 5 in Europe at least, as far as I know. So it's growing, it's prospering, and we are more frequently meeting, and that is something I really like to see. Okay, my memories are not that much in the past, it's more recent, and the next ones are coming up as well. So it's a little transcendent maybe, but
I love it. I love it.
That is something that kicks me every time. I like to, if I manage to put the stress aside of the event, that's what I like to experience.
And as much as I love Sorcery, and we are all about Sorcery, I think one thing that I heard in what you were responding there is it's kind of also the moments in between Sorcery, right? It's sometimes that can be the conversations between games or after the event. That really makes, I think for me, I won't put everything on blast here, but when I was at Spiel Essen, we had such a great time when you helped us support us with the launch of Arthurian Legends.
Yeah.
And I think one of the highlights of that trip with me was actually driving in your car back to the store to try and get a bunch of product, and the conversations we had there.
Yeah.
And that, to me, I lump in all with Sorcery.
Yeah.
And that's, I think what we're trying to capture these events, in which we're so happy that you guys get, right? Trying to build that, like, large Sorcery is a big box, not just the tournament. It's everything that happens at that event around it.
Yeah.
Sasha, how about you? Anything you're excited for? Or, what's that moment going to mean to you on September 5th?
I'd say the atmosphere is always really special when Sorcery players come together. On a store level, obviously. By the way, in a couple of hours today, we're hosting another Sorcery event in store. So looking forward to meet the guys again. But especially on the during the larger events, because at least as far as I consider it, the players, they are going to great length, and I basically mean it that way. They are traveling all over Europe here, coming together from various countries, having a great time. As I said earlier, sharing stories about the gameplay and about cards and game mechanics, yes. But also visiting a soccer game, having some great food after the event, or a couple of drinks also. And a great chat. And a great chat between the games. So, and I think overall that's some sort of atmosphere and spirit, whatever you want to call it. And I would say that's rather unique to Sorcery when we look at the communities. Yeah.
I think it's so hard. I feel like, that's all I'll say on that, is that I can get a little corny on it. We're always trying to point at that, but just go to one of these events and experience it for yourself. And I know that'll be on display at this grand contest that you're hosting. So Heiner and Sasha, thank you both for coming on to talk. And your grand contest takes place September 5th and 6th and in Gelsenkirchen. And there's going to be over 100 sorcerers. We're looking to see if we can have that be sold out by the time we have this event. And if you're not able to attend, we'll have links already in the description for the live stream. So make sure you hit that notification bell And yes, we will have gray wolves there. And so no pressure, folks. I want to see a nice group photo with everybody with the cards. So you're going to get a wide lens for that, maybe with that many people. I don't know,
We'll
but I'll let you figure that out.
Will do. Yeah.
And thank you so much. And for everyone, we can't wait to see all the fun that happens in Germany.
Yep.
Looking forward. Thank you,
too.
Chase.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right. That's all,
Bye.
folks. Make sure to leave a comment down below, and best of luck contesting the realm.